All right, team. Welcome to another deep dive. As we think about the future of synthetics global, we've just wrapped up looking at what feels like the definitive report on where AI stands right now, and more importantly, where it's heading.
And honestly, it's more than just interesting data. This report confirms what many of us feel intuitively: the pace of change, the scale of investment, the sheer speed of adoption across the board.
Yeah.
It's happening faster than anything we've witnessed before. The word unprecedented in the report.
Yeah, it isn't hyperbole.
Absolutely not. So
Okay.
our mission in this deep dive is to really unpack this incredible stack of sources and figure out exactly how these insights land here at Synthetics Global.
Mhm.
How do we take these findings and ensure they actively inform our strategy starting today?
Yeah.
How do we use this to become better informed, accelerate our growth, and truly embrace what it means to be an AI-first organization moving forward?
Exactly. We're going to walk through the core findings the report laid out, looking at the hard numbers on users, usage, and capital investment, exploring the underlying technology shifts.
Right. Dissecting the competitive landscape and seeing how AI is already transforming the nature of work and, well, beginning to open up entirely new frontiers we previously only dreamed of.
Think of this as our crucial internal strategy session, pulling out the most critical insights from this monumental report. It's about equipping ourselves, the leadership team, with the knowledge we need to make the right decisions.
Makes sense.
So let's not waste any time. Let's unpack this, starting right where the report does.
Yeah.
The sheer scale and speed of this shift. The report kicks off with a line that really grabbed me, and it's so simple but profound. Seemed like change happening faster than ever. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It immediately frames the current growth spurt we're seeing as truly unprecedented.
And when you look at the data points they provide, it's impossible to argue with. The report even offers this kind of equation: AI user plus usage plus CapEx growth, unprecedented.
Right.
Take ChatGPT, for instance, as a foundational example they use. It hit 800 million weekly active users by April 2025. Think about that, just 17 months after its public launch.
Wow.
That user growth trajectory, it's basically unmatched in the history of technology adoption. It shows how quickly users, both consumers and presumably business users, are jumping on board.
It's not just the user side, which that 800 million figure makes strikingly clear. Look at the investment coming from the major tech players. The report highlights that the big 6 USA technology companies saw their CapEx, that's their capital expenditure, the money they're pouring into long-term assets like infrastructure, reached $212 billion in 2024.
$212 billion.
That's a whopping 63% increase year over year, and the report directly links it to the rise of AI. They aren't just dabbling, they are betting the farm on this.
And the builders are responding. The report points to the developer ecosystem around a leading chip maker, like NVIDIA, as a great proxy.
Yeah.
Developers in their ecosystem grew sixfold, up to 6 million, over just 7 years. That signals incredibly rapid adoption of AI tools and frameworks by the people actually building the applications.
That's huge.
It's not just companies talking about AI, it's developers actively working with it.
So for us at Synthetics Global, looking at this combination of explosive user adoption, massive capital investment, and rapidly growing developer engagement, it screams that this isn't a niche trend or something we can ease into.
Definitely not.
This isn't just data to file away. This is a fundamental market shift happening at breakneck speed. The strategic implication for us is clear. We absolutely must operate with urgency. We need to decide how to capitalize on this speed, not just react to it.
Right. And to move with that urgency, we need to understand what's powering all of this. The report really dives into the technology itself, describing it as AI technology compounding.
Compounding, yeah.
It's not just one thing improving. It's simultaneous rapid gains across multiple fronts. Computing power is accelerating, training compute is growing at, 360% per year?
Crazy numbers.
Algorithmic improvements are adding another 200% per year, and supercomputer performance is up 150% per year.
Huh.
And the pace at which new, powerful AI models are being released is increasing incredibly fast, 167% per year over the last 4 years.
Wow.
It's like Moore's Law on steroids, amplified across different layers of the tech stack.
It is compounding, and all that compounding power needs somewhere to live, somewhere to run. The report really hammers home the connection, stating that CapEx spend big technology companies inflected with AI's rise.
Right. Connects back to the investment.
Exactly. Ties back to the numbers we just discussed. Hyperscaler cloud revenue. The business of providing massive, scalable computing power like Google Cloud, AWS, Microsoft Azure is seeing rapid global growth at 37% per year.
And companies like NVIDIA are key beneficiaries, right? Representing about a quarter of global data center CapEx revenue, because their chips are essential for this type of computing.
Essential. And the physical infrastructure supporting this is data centers. Their construction value is accelerating dramatically, growing 49% annually in the USA over the past 2 years.
They are being built incredibly fast. The report mentions an example. Get this, a 750,000 square foot facility going up in just 122 days.
122 days, that's unbelievable.
Think about that scale and speed. That's not just construction. That's building the factories of the AI future faster than seems possible.
That speed is wild, but the report also points out a significant bottleneck that's starting to emerge, which is crucial for our own infrastructure planning, even if we're primarily cloud-based.
The energy piece.
Yeah. They state it starkly. There is no AI without energy. Data center electricity consumption has been growing significantly, about 12% per year globally since 2017.
And the report warns that AI progress, despite the efficiency gains, is becoming bottlenecked not by data or algorithms, but by the grid and strains related to demand.
So it's a physical constraint.
It is. And it's a fascinating real-world manifestation of Jevons paradox, that old economic theory.
Explain that again.
As AI models and the hardware running them, like those highly efficient NVIDIA GPUs, become exponentially more efficient, using maybe 100,000 times less energy per token than a decade ago.
Which sounds great.
Right. But the cost per computation drops so dramatically that overall usage just explodes, leading to a net increase in energy demand. It's counterintuitive, but the report shows it's happening.
For Synthetics Global, understanding this infrastructure reality and the emerging energy constraints is strategically vital. Even relying on cloud providers, the underlying costs, availability, and capability of those platforms are fundamentally shaped by these factors.
Absolutely. It impacts everything from pricing models to where capacity is available.
And it's something we need to factor into our long-term deployment strategies. We can't just assume infinite cheap compute forever.
No, definitely not.
Okay, so we see the scale, the speed, the underlying tech and infrastructure. But how is this actually showing up in the real world, particularly in how we work?
Yeah, the report uses the phrase AI and work evolution and calls it real plus rapid.
Real and rapid.
This isn't just theoretical chatter anymore. It's fundamentally changing the nature of work itself through physical automation, which we know,
Right.
but increasingly through cognitive automation.
And the pace of improvement in that cognitive ability is truly staggering based on the report's assessment. They estimate that AI models have gone from perhaps a high school level of reasoning just 3 years ago to capabilities equivalent to a college graduate or even a high-skill engineer today. Think about the implications of that leap in such a short time frame for tasks that require analysis, synthesis, creative problem solving.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And enterprises are clearly taking notice. The report highlights that over half of S&P 500 companies are now mentioning AI on their earnings calls. It's a board-level topic.
Definitely.
And crucially, when asked about their corporate AI objectives in surveys, the focus isn't primarily on cutting costs. It's weighted heavily towards growth and revenue, building customer-facing AI applications, finding new revenue streams,
So top-line focus.
and broader internal employee productivity. That tells us where the strategic value is perceived to be.
And real-world productivity gains are being measured, right?
They are. The report cites examples like a 14% improvement in productivity for customer support agents using AI assistance. This is already reshaping the job market.
You see it in the postings.
Exactly. U.S. job postings specifically mentioning AI are up a dramatic 448% over 7 years, while non-AI IT job postings are actually down 9% in the same period.
Wow, that's a stark contrast.
The demand signal for AI skills is incredibly strong.
I think one of the most striking examples in the report is the internal memo from the CEO of Duolingo, stating plainly, Duolingo is going to be AI first.
Oh, let's do that, yeah.
This isn't just about sprinkling some AI features on top. It involves fundamentally rethinking their operating model, making AI use a factor in hiring and performance reviews, tying headcount growth to automation efficiency.
And even accepting occasional small hits on quality in exchange for speed and scale.
Right.
That's a level of commitment that goes beyond pilots and task automation.
That's a big statement.
That Duolingo example is a powerful signal for us. at Synthetics Global. It reinforces that we absolutely must prioritize integrating AI deeply into our workflows, not just to gain efficiency, but explicitly to drive productivity and accelerate our growth initiatives.
Right.
As the report quotes an NVIDIA leader saying, and this is a quote we should all internalize, "You're not going to lose your job to an AI, but to somebody who uses AI."
That's the key takeaway.
Our strategic imperative is to empower our teams to be those somebody. It shifts the focus from fear of replacement to the opportunity for augmentation and advancement.
Empowering our people. Got it.
Now let's look at the competitive landscape this is all unfolding within. Well, the cost to train the absolute largest bleeding-edge frontier models remains incredibly high.
Still very expensive, yeah.
The report points out a critical trend. Inference costs per token are falling. Inference is the cost of running a train bottle, of getting a response from it. This is that perpetual aha of technology we see again and again. As the cost of doing something falls, performance often rises, and usage absolutely explodes.
Makes sense.
This makes accessing incredibly powerful AI cheaper and cheaper for everyone, from individual users to developers building new applications.
And that falling cost is fueling incredibly intense competition. The report summarizes the key threats to traditional AI monetization as rising competition plus open source momentum plus China's rise.
The triple threat, basically.
Yeah. Model performance among major players is converging rapidly, meaning the gap between the most expensive proprietary models and lower-cost API providers or even open-source options is shrinking.
The rise of open source models is a massive factor here. Models like Meta's Llama are seeing downloads in the billions.
Billions, wow.
And the report presents data showing these open source models are rapidly closing the performance gap with closed proprietary alternatives. Developers often prefer them for the combination of lower or no cost and the flexibility to customize them.
So more power is getting democratized.
In significant ways, yeah. It levels the playing field.
At the same time, you have the established tech giants rolling out AI capabilities across their massive existing user bases. Companies like Meta with 3.4 billion users, Apple with 2.35 billion devices, Google with nearly 5 billion search users.
The scale is immense.
They are embedding AI deeply into the products people use every day. Microsoft Copilot, Meta AI, Adobe Firefly, Zoom AI Companion, Salesforce Agentforce. The report highlights Microsoft's AI product revenue run rate hitting $13 billion.
$13 billion already.
Showing real monetization happening at scale within these incumbents.
But simultaneously, you're seeing explosive growth from new specialized AI software companies. These aren't building the foundational models, but are building specific AI-powered applications for particular industries or use cases.
Okay, the application layer.
Exactly. The report gives examples like AnySphere Cursor AI going from $1 million to $300 million in annual recurring revenue in just 25 months.
That's insane growth.
Or Harvey, in the legal tech space, going from $10 million to $70 million ARR in 15 months. AlphaSense reached around $420 million ARR in 2 years. Data cited in the report shows the median time for AI companies to reach $5 million ARR is 35% faster than typical SaaS companies.
So the startups are moving incredibly fast, too.
That pace of growth for application layer companies is incredible.
And then, adding another layer of complexity, there's the global rivalry. The report frames the competition, particularly between the USA and China, quite starkly as a space race with significant geopolitical implications.
Yeah, that framing was interesting.
China is making rapid advances. Models like Alibaba's Qwen and Baidu's Ernie are showing competitive performance, and critically, they are achieving this at significantly lower inference costs compared to Western models.
That cost advantage could be a major factor in global adoption, especially in emerging markets. That's a really key point.
Definitely. So, for Synthetics Global, navigating this competitive landscape is complex but full of opportunity. Falling inference costs and the strength of open source models mean powerful AI capabilities are more accessible and potentially cheaper than ever before.
Right, more options for us.
But it also means the intensity of competition is increasing globally across the board, both from incumbents integrating AI and agile startups building fast. Our approach to technology adoption needs to be flexible, discerning, and strategic. Considering the capabilities, the cost structures, and the origin of the tools we choose to leverage, it's not just about picking the best model, it's about picking the right model for the right use case, at the right cost, given this dynamic environment.
Smart choices, basically, not just chasing the hype.
Exactly. Shifting gears slightly, the report doesn't stop at the present day. It looks ahead, highlighting what's coming next, and a key area is the evolution of AI agent evolution, chat responses of doing work.
Ah, yes, agents.
Yeah.
This is a really significant leap.
It feels like it.
We're moving beyond just asking an AI a question and getting a task response. Agents are intelligent, often long-running processes designed to perform tasks for you, coordinating actions across different applications and services.
So they do things.
Exactly. The report notes Google searches for AI agent are up over 1,000% in just 16 months, showing the public interest is surging.
People are catching on.
This move towards agents is closely linked to the rapid rise of multimodal AI models that can understand and generate not just text, but also images, audio, and video.
Multimodal organ.
Number of large-scale multimodal models released increased 1,150% over the past 2 years. This isn't just cool tech. It enables incredibly practical applications.
Like what?
Think about diagnosing machinery faults by giving an AI a photo, or automatically drafting medical reports by feeding it an X-ray image and clinical notes simultaneously. It allows AI to interact with the world in a much richer way.
That opens up a lot of possibilities.
And AI is accelerating its move into the physical world, too. The report calls this AI and physical world ramps, fast plus data-driven. You see it clearly in autonomous vehicles. Waymo now has a significant share of the rideshare market in San Francisco. Tesla's full self-driving miles driven are growing exponentially, roughly 100x.
Huge jumps there, too.
It's in defense systems, with companies like Anduril doubling revenue year over year. It's in agriculture with AI-powered weeding robots. The report's phrase here is so accurate. AI is turning capital assets into software endpoints.
Software endpoints. I like that.
Yeah,
Your car, your drone, your factory robot is becoming a platform for AI.
exactly. And looking even further out, the report raises a fascinating point about the 2.6 billion people globally who are currently offline.
Right, the next wave of internet users.
With the proliferation of low-cost satellite internet, like Starlink, which now has over 5 million subscribers, many of these users may come online soon.
Yeah.
And their first experience with the internet might not be through traditional browsers or apps, but directly through AI, using agent-driven multimodal interfaces, likely in their native languages. This is a potential shift in how the next billion internet users will interact with digital services.
That's a paradigm shift. So these frontier trends, agents, multimodality, physical world AI, and the unique opportunity with offline users tell us at Synthetics Global that we need to look beyond just optimizing current workflows with text-based AI.
We have to think bigger.
We need to start preparing for a future where AI interactions are active agents, encompass multiple senses, multimodal, and increasingly touch the physical world. And we need to think about how we will design experiences for users whose first digital interaction is with AI itself.
The potential for AI to solve everything else, as a DeepMind CEO suggested, points to a future where AI isn't just a tool, but a fundamental layer of interaction and operation.
So wrapping this up, what does this deep dive into the report fundamentally mean for us here at Synthetics Global? It confirms, in the strongest possible terms, that AI is not just another item on the tech roadmap.
Not at all.
It is the next fundamental platform shift, reshaping user behavior, intensifying the competitive landscape, fundamentally altering the nature of work, and even influencing global power dynamics.
To thrive and truly to lead in this environment, we must embrace becoming an AI-first organization. It's not a buzzword, it's a strategic imperative.
AI first.
This means making deliberate, strategic investments in AI capabilities, mirroring the conviction shown by the tech giants. It means being smart about the tools we leverage, understanding the trade-offs and opportunities of both cutting-edge closed models and the rapidly improving open-source alternatives.
Right, the choice matters.
And crucially, it means embedding AI not just in pockets, but into our core workflows to relentlessly drive both productivity and accelerate our growth. We have to prepare for a future where our interactions, both internally and externally, are increasingly agentic and multimodal.
This journey demands a fundamental rethink of how we operate. It impacts how we hire and evaluate talent, prioritizing those who can effectively partner with AI. It changes how we structure our teams and how quickly we can deploy new technology. As the report shows with examples like Duolingo, being AI first means a willingness to reconsider established processes and embrace a new operating rhythm.
The opportunities this presents for accelerated growth and becoming a more informed, more capable organization are truly immense. But, as the report makes equally clear, The challenges are significant, staying competitive in a rapidly converging market with rivals moving at unprecedented speed.
So huge upside, but real pressure too.
Exactly.
Ultimately, becoming an AI-first synthetics global isn't just about adopting technology. It's a cultural and strategic transformation that starts with leadership understanding the shift. It's about ensuring every single person on our team is empowered to become that somebody who uses AI effectively,
Hmm.
leveraging it to do their best work and push the boundaries of what we can achieve.
The report's message is unambiguous. In this accelerating environment, stagnation is no longer just falling behind, it's actively failing. The pace of change isn't slowing down, it will only get faster.
Sobering, but critical. And here's where it gets really interesting for all of us. As you process this deep dive, think about this. Where does your business unit, your team, and your own career need to be in just 1 or 2 years from now when AI is as deeply integrated into daily life and work as the internet is today?
That's the question.
That's the question this report compels us to answer, and one truly worth mulling over as you plan your next steps.